The world has watched as Puerto Rico has struggled to recover from hurricanes, political instability, and now earthquakes. All of this while being part of the United States. And that has some wondering, is Puerto Rico a modern-day colony? To explain why Puerto Rico is in a sort of limbo state regarding its status, we have to go back more than 100 years, shortly after the United States took possession of Puerto Rico. That's when the U.S. Supreme Court wrote that new U.S. territories like Puerto Rico were, quote, inhabited by alien races, so it may be impossible to govern them, quote, according to Anglo-Saxon principles. The so-called insular cases left territories like Puerto Rico without a pathway to statehood.
It is a very strange construction which the Supreme Court has made, which is Puerto Rico belongs to, but is not part of the United States, which is basically saying that it is a possession of the United States.
So Puerto Ricans are U.S. citizens, but if they live on the island, they can't vote for U.S. president. And Puerto Rico's representative in Congress can't vote either, not even on issues pertaining to the island.
Politicians pay attention to those issues that have an electoral effect. Since Puerto Rico is not represented in Congress, it doesn't have an effective political clout in Washington. It is easy to forget about the special needs of U.S. citizens that reside in the territories.
That's not to say Puerto Rico is not economically valuable to the United States. Puerto Ricans pay billions of dollars in federal taxes every year in the form of Social Security, payroll, and business taxes. At the same time, the island acts as a tax haven for some U.S. companies.
Since the U.S. Constitution does not apply completely to Puerto Rico and to the territories, you can have in Puerto Rico U.S. corporations that do not pay federal taxes. And that is why they report so much income in Puerto Rico.
Puerto Ricans are divided on the statehood issue. Referendums have shown the majority want Puerto Rico to have some sort of relationship with the U.S., but don't necessarily want the island to become a state. But Professor Colomorera says for something to happen, the U.S. has to be involved in the process.
You can devote all your energy in Puerto Rico to the status question, and if you don't have a partner in the federal government trying to solve the problem with you, then you will have a monologue.
The status question matters because right now Puerto Rico has little autonomy over its finances. A board that wasn't elected by Puerto Ricans but instead appointed by the U.S. is imposing cuts to things like healthcare, education, and pensions as a way to address the island's debt crisis.
You can say that Puerto Rico has been going back to the times where congressional control was very, very direct over Puerto Rico, and that has resurfaced the issue of colonialism.
Meanwhile, the local government is riddled with allegations of corruption, and that has led the president to tweet things like, quote, Puerto Rico is one of the most corrupt places on earth. It has also led his administration to withhold aid at a time when the Puerto Rican people need it the most.